She's not what you'd expect. She's tough and feisty, but gentle and tender. She makes millions and gives millions to the poor. She cries, she laughs, she teaches, she comforts. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
If only. What is standing in between the success that you want, the life that you want, the happiness you want, the joy that you want, and where you are today? Is it perhaps a little phrase called, if only? You fill in the blank. What fills in after, well, if only I... ... Boy, I've certainly had a few of those. Hi, I'm Dani Johnson. Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. Today, we are going to tackle maybe some of those excuses that seem to stop us. And sometimes we pick these up from our family and from our friends. And it really is a phrase that says, if only. But man, at the end of the day, friend, you got to ask yourself this question. Did I get done what I want to get done? Have I accomplished the things that I set forth to accomplish at the beginning of this day? Not to mention the beginning of this year. Remember, you and I sat down and we put a focus of some plans for a new year. Now we are approaching a time in a season where it's going to pull that thing out and look back and go, whoa, am I on track or am I off track? And how many if onlys have I allowed to pile up in front of me? In fact, this statement that one of my coworkers found, I have to share it with you, John Maxwell. I've read some of his books many, many years ago, but I know so many people have been helped by this man. He says, look at our society. Everyone wants to be thin, but nobody wants to diet. Everyone wants to live long, but few will actually exercise. Everybody wants money, yet seldom will ever budget or control their spending. Isn't that just so true? We say that we want to do things, yet we don't always follow through with what we say we want to do. One of the things that I found to be very, very important is kind of identify those things, and usually they fly right out of our mouth, and out of the overflow of the heart, the mouth actually speaks, but we start to give these excuses without even thinking about it. What are some of yours, and what are they actually specifically concerning money? Because today we're going to talk a lot about money and uncovering really what is it going to take for you to have the kind of financial success it is that you are seeking. It's not rocket science to succeed financially. I promise you it's not. For example, not only me, growing up on welfare in a violently abusive, drug-infested home, where money was not something that was easy to come by. And then at 19, I start in my own business. I failed miserably the first 6 months, but then I found something. I found some training. I found some development. I found some leadership courses. I found some people that I could learn from, that I could study from. And it wasn't that I got to study one-on-one. I got to observe from afar, sitting in seminars with hundreds and hundreds of people, taking copious, vicious notes, actually, sitting forward, paying attention, just studying the person that was speaking from the stage. And I took every drop, every word, and I applied it. And within the next 6 months, I made an extra $50,000 in a business that made me no dollars the 6 months prior to that. Moving forward from there, yes, I ended up as a homeless woman due to some really dumb choices. If only I had married that guy that I only knew for 7 days, right? That was my big excuse. If only I had parents that had supported me. If only I had friends that were actually, loving and kind and sweet to me in my failures. If only. There's so many of them that we can put up in front of us. But I ended up as a homeless woman who was overweight and suicidal. But then something hit me and I had to make a new decision, and I did not want to ever end up as broke as I was in that moment with $2.03 and a $35,000 debt. Started a new business from that training that I had learned the year before. And within 2 years, I made my first million. Today, a multimillionaire who gives 100% of the money that we make from our company to charity, to those who are severely impoverished, to the elderly, to helping kids come out of the sex trade. And I don't take a salary from the work that I do either. So 100% of my work is volunteer, and 100% of the dollars goes into providing jobs and helping people to get out of the terrible situation that they're in. So if I could go from the if only place of all of my terrible financial failures, as well as relationship failures, to a place of being able to live a financially independent lifestyle, living simple and giving millions of dollars away, then my friend, you can learn the same thing. Making money is not rocket science. If it was, I wouldn't be able to do it. That's for darn sure. So I want you to kind of look in the mirror today and let's discover what are some of the if onlys that are holding you back. Is it if only I made more money? If only my boss paid me more money? If only, my company was doing better? If only I didn't have this insurmountable debt? If only I had made better choices when I was young. What are some of the excuses that you have used to keep you stuck in the same place that you're at? Because the if onlys are not stepping stones to take you to the place where you want to go. It is actually, every time you say it, it's digging a deeper financial pit that you will not be able to climb out of the more you keep saying, if only. You got to find a solution. So one of the ways in finding a solution is to uncover this. What excuse are you using that's keeping you there, right? What are your if onlys? And what's the cost of your if onlys? What's the price you are paying because of your if onlys? We're going over to the phones. We've got precious people who have called in that want to share what some of theirs are. And I know as you hear these, hopefully it kind of charges you with, ooh, gosh, I'm kind of living in that one too. So Karen Kornichuk from Chicago, Illinois, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, thank you.
Hi. So what is one of your if-onlys that seems to be keeping you stuck, and how can we help you move forward today?
I've got a bunch of them. So, basically, I grew up with anxiety and depression, and so I always blame that my anxiety is always something that keeps me from being able to share my business with people in a better way, and I always stumble on my words when I'm talking to people, so I always blame it on that.
How well is that working for you, Karen?
I'm sorry?
How well is that working for you?
Not too well. I mean, it's getting better. It's definitely a lot better. I've been praying about it a lot, and God's pulling me out of my shell. But it's still, I do need a lot of training. So my issue is just being lazy and not doing as much training as I need for my business.
So why do you say that you grew up with anxiety and depression? Why would you want to grow up with that?
Well, I didn't want to. It started in third grade for some reason. We had a lot of family issues. I had an aunt who was schizophrenic, and so I was always afraid of her. My dad was like borderline schizophrenic, so he was never very stable, and I never felt very secure.
Okay, but wait, how old are you?
37.
Oh, you mean so you're no longer in the third grade?
Nope.
And you're not in the fourth grade or the fifth grade or the 10th grade either, right?
No.
Okay, are you still living at home with dad who's borderline schizophrenic? And are you living with your aunt who is schizophrenic?
No.
Okay, so you don't live with these people. You're no longer under their domain. You no longer live in their anxiety or depression. So you're 37 years old, and why are you choosing to live like you were there?
Well, it's not really it's not.
Oh, no, everything in life is a choice, Karen. Everything in life is a choice.
Okay.
I choose today to eat the apple instead of the donut.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Right? I choose today to spend money foolishly on another pair of shoes that I do not need, or I choose to save that money today.
Mm-hmm.
I choose with my own chooser, just as Karen, you choose with your own chooser, to either fall into your past, thinking of being in the third grade, afraid of your aunt and afraid of your dad, or you choose to be the 37-year-old woman who is wiser, who has opportunity in front of her, who has the chance to create any kind of future that she would like. 37 years old is the prime age of discovering, defining, and living out your destiny.
Mm-hmm.
So it's every day. It's either I choose laziness, kind of like it's open up your pantry. And what do you see? In fact, if you could go over to your pantry, I don't know if you're anywhere near your house, but if you're in your house, if you open up your pantry, you might see beans or pasta. God forbid there's Oreos in there.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so you can call the Oreos depression. You could write a whole new label on those things. This is depression. You can put on your pasta. This is gaining weight. Both of those things mean tired, right? Do Oreos give you energy, and does pasta give you energy, or both of these things make you tired and feel listless?
Yeah.
So maybe we need to get some duct tape with a Sharpie, write a new label. It doesn't say Oreo with the pretty packaging. It says fat, depressed, and unmotivated on your pasta. Yeah. It says no energy, poison.
Yeah, that's my problem.
Right? So do we willingly choose the poison that makes us depressed, that makes us unmotivated, or do we choose the bag of apples instead? Everything in life, Karen, is choices. You're either going to reach for the past choices or you're going to reach for your future. Laziness is a choice. Depression, I'm sorry to say it because I walked through it. I lived through it for years. I have not had any depression, and I was so depressed I was suicidal from the time I was 6 until almost in my 30s. And so June 28th of 2001, it was a volitional, whoa, wait a second here. As soon as I discovered I was in it, I'm like, what? I'm done with this. This is over. And you have to make volitional choices every day. Have you ever started a diet before?
Yeah.
Not really, it doesn't
Sort of.
sound like.
I never like strict diet. I just try to change some of my bad foods out and replace them with good foods, but not really like a strict diet.
Sure. Okay, no, that's wise, okay? That is a diet, but it's not like, crash course with, vitamins and shakes and things like that. Mm-hmm. My point is that when you've made the decision and you get all the junk food out of your house, is it easier?
Pretty much, except I work in the city where there's lots of junk.
So my point is that you need to practice choosing, Karen. And the fact is you can find all the excuses in the book as to where all the temptation is, or you can choose not to look. It's kind of like a man. Kind of like a man looking at a pretty woman. One thing I totally admire and respect about my husband is that he has never, with me around, looked upon another woman, ever. His eyes as though he does not see another woman. He has not been one to want to see, the kind of movies that would put me in an uncomfortable place. I respect him for the fact that he has been one to choose not to be flirtatious even when I'm not around. He's not known as a man like that. He just doesn't see it. He chooses not to even go there. He makes himself not available to it. Mm-hmm. Once you practice that muscle, Karen, you're going to have rip-roaring crazy success. And your past of depression or anxiety is just going to be a part of your story that is a thing of the past instead of something that is right here in the future. So you got to make a choice, and the choice needs to happen today. Otherwise, you and I'll be talking a year from now, and you're going to be saying the same thing. You'll be 39 saying the same thing. You'll be 47 saying the same thing. Gosh, I wish I was more motivated. Well, if only I didn't live in the city, I wouldn't have access to all that sugar. And if only. You got to make a choice here. I think today's the day. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
Go to DaniJohnson.com and find out about our next live event. First Steps to Success in Orlando, Florida. Register today. Call 866-760-8255 or go to DaniJohnson.com/FSTS.
Imagine living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel made of waste material on top of old mining tunnels that could explode and sink your home at any moment. Imagine no water to drink, no safe place to raise your children, no food for your starving baby. Imagine that your kids can't learn to read because they have to work to support the family instead of going to school. Could you imagine living in that kind of fear and hopelessness? This is exactly what families are dealing with in the poverty-stricken village of Santa Pancha, Nicaragua. These families can barely meet their basic food, water, and housing needs. We are transforming that village. Be a part of this miracle. I want you to go to the website now and learn how you can help. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Santa Pancha. There you can join with other warriors against poverty and help bring a miraculous transformation to Santa Pancha. That's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org. Hi, I'm Dani Johnson. The most common question I get usually are from people who are trying to juggle their life. They've got kids who are involved in all kinds of activities. They've got business or their job, finances, trying to get out of debt, plus all their church activities and all the volunteer activities. And they're pulling their hair out going, how do I juggle this all? Man, I once lived just like that until I learned Time Secrets. Time Secrets showed me how to be able to cut my hours from 100 hours a week that I was working down to 20 hours a week and tripled my income as a direct result with what I learned. Time Secrets also showed me how to get my priorities in order, which healed up my marriage. And I became a mother that I was proud of versus becoming the mother I didn't want to be. And so if you feel like your world is running around in all kinds of different circles, you can fix that. Call 888-757-8880. Again, 888-757-8880 for Time Secrets.
Helping you become all you were meant to be. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
There's pressure all around you to try to get you to do things that you don't want to do. And at some point, you got to put your big girl chonies or your big boy chonies on, and you have to make a decision to be in control of your own choices. That's what it takes to have success. You can line up a dime a dozen of people who have zero self-control, and we can look at their finances, and I promise you that their finances are going to show you that they live their life according to impulse instead of living their life by their own choices, wise choices in their life. So today we are uncovering, what are your if-onlys? Well, if only life was easier. Of course, if only life was easier, but you cannot let that be your crutch, waiting for life to get easier. You cannot wait to have somebody else change things for you in order for your life to get better. Friend, I'm sorry to tell you, but you and I both live in a life and we live in a society that provides us with choices. Every day, we are provided with choices. Choices to spend wise, choices to spend foolish. When we look at the path of where we spend foolishly, where does it lead us? It leads to more debt, which leads to more suffering, leads to lack of sleep, leads to more financial problems, leads to feeling like a loser and a failure and confidence leaking out of us every single day. And that when we need that confidence, we can't find it because there's been a leak coming out of us going towards what? Making us feel like we are losers, making us feel like a failure, making us feel like we can do nothing, we're worthless, and we have no value. That is not who you are, and that's not who you're called to be. Here on the Dani Johnson Show, every day, man, we are bringing you content that is going to challenge you to make wise choices today. You know what? No matter what time of day that you are actually viewing this program, whether you're watching it first thing in the morning or it's right before you go to sleep, you're going to make choices. And I'm hoping that today's program challenges you to make wise choices financially. This is not the time to turn the program off. This is the time to go, hold on a second here. I need to think about this because tomorrow I'm going to make new choices. Today I'm going to make new choices, and they all boil down to financial choices. For example, where are you going to go for lunch? Are you going to pack a lunch or are you going to bring a lunch? Are you going to buy something when you've got a house full of food already? Are you going to make the choice to not spend on more clothes that you do not need? We want to see you succeed financially. So we're talking about your if-onlys, your excuses that are keeping you in debt, your excuses that are keeping you where you do not want to be. So we have Doree Engelmeyer from Easton, Pennsylvania. Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Hi.
Hi. What a beautiful name, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
So what about you? What choices have you made, and what are the result that has come out of those financial choices?
Well, I was just listening to a prior caller and a similar story. I mean, I lived with severe fear, anxiety, depression all my life. I made lots of bad choices, declared bankruptcy once already. But a few years ago, I found out I have environmental health issues. I actually found out I have mercury poisoning and heavy lead toxicity that I've had since I was a child, very small child. In order for me to keep getting better, I need to either choose to get out of debt, which I've already maxed out 3 credit cards, because it cost me hundreds of dollars to get the supplements to get me better, or pay to keep the roof over my head. Either way, I feel like I'm doomed. The chaos just keeps ensuing because I'm not the only one with the health problems. My daughter has serious health issues now, too, and it's a constant running to doctors, hospitals, you name it. And I'm not choosing this. I didn't ask to have all these poisons in our bodies. But trying to help get myself out of it has just been pretty much hell.
Yeah. Okay, Doré, I'm going to challenge. First of all, I am so sorry to hear about the health issues that you're walking through right now, and all the debt and all of that. In fact, you remind me of somebody that I was just praying for just last night. But I want us to explore this because, yes, did you ask for this metal poisoning in your body? Just like, did I ask to be molested when I was 3? No. But what we choose to do with that fact is a whole nother story. And either we can choose to feel like a victim, or we can choose to take responsibility and solve the problem. And that's where success comes in. That's where we are able to rise up and be what we are called to be. You have to know that thousands of other people, Doré, have gone through the same exact thing. I didn't choose for my back to be born missing, lumbars and having scoliosis. I didn't choose any of that. But the choices I made with my back after that didn't help the situation, I did choose, which then resulted in me being paralyzed in a wheelchair. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
Dani will be back with more expert business, money, and relationship advice to help you live the uncommon life. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
And I'm so blessed that I found what is in Grooming the Next Generation for Success. This is a book that is being taught in universities around the world. It's been noted as the best book on parenting that has ever been written. Crazy, if you ask me. But the point is that this thing gets results. Get your copy today, 888-757-8880. Again, that's 888-757-8880. Or go to DaniJohnson.com. That's DANI Johnson.com. Get your copy today.
And now, back to the Dani Johnson Show.
So there you are. You've been diagnosed with a health condition that is going to cost a tremendous amount of money to fix. We've all been in situations like that, things that we were not planning for, things that we were not hoping for. I think most of us in life are hoping for good things to happen in our life. We're hoping for good health. We're hoping for good marriages. We're hoping for good kids. We're hoping for good jobs or good businesses. We're hoping for good financial situations. But I'm sorry to tell you, we don't live in Disneyland. This is called life. We live in a fallen, broken, disgusting, dark world that is filled with poisons in our foods, that is filled with problems with our spouses, health conditions that pop out of nowhere. I've got 2 people in my life right now that are battling cancer towards the end of their lives. I've got thousands of clients who have all kinds of terrible health conditions that they're walking through right now. And that's just called life. It really, truly is. I've walked through terrible health conditions myself. Heart problems, cancer, paralyzed from the waist down, not to mention other people in my family going through these things. But we have to make a choice. And it's never the circumstances that determine success in our lives. It's what we choose to do with those circumstances, is what we're talking about. To Doré right now from Easton, Pennsylvania, who has some metal poisoning, mercury poisoning, costs hundreds of dollars a month. She's got to make a choice. Do I keep the roof over my head or do I pay for the supplements that are going to help me? Doré, you have to find a way to increase your income. And I want you to do this. I want you to print out your bank statement. And I want you to highlight every place your dollars are going. And you want to make those dollars work for you and not against you. That if I were to sit down with you with your bank statement, honey, and if we were to analyze what's in there, how much money is going towards food? How much money is going towards your electric bill? How much is going towards transportation? How much is going towards entertainment? How much is going towards habits? How much is going towards Walmart? How much is going towards little places that you think are just a few dollars here and there that you think don't make a difference, when in the grand scope of things, they actually make a huge difference. But when we get in the cycle, Doré, of feeling like we're a victim, when we get in that place of thinking, I'm spinning out of control, this is never going to work, I know that deep, dark cloud. I've lived through that several times in my life. Then there comes a day where you have to choose to say, I'm done with this, and this is going to get solved. I'm sick and tired of being kicked around by this fear. I'm sick and tired of being kicked around by this debt. I'm sick and tired of being kicked around by this health issue. I'm going to attack what's attacking me, and I'm going to win at this thing. When you come to that place, DeRay, that's when the victorious one rises up inside of you, and you no longer are being beat up by life, but instead you're allowing your mind, your will, your emotions to direct how you think that day and how you feel that day and how you approach that day. And all of a sudden solutions come. It's almost like this, DeRay. Have you ever felt like you've kind of been in sorry to say this, but it's like I have no other way to say it, but it's like a stirring of just caca. Almost like you're in a toilet bowl, right? And it's just bad, right? And you're just swirling, you're surrounded by everything that could not be good. Have you ever felt that way before?
That's my life the last few years. Every time I try to step forward, I get beat back down into it.
Yep.
And I'm like, what am I doing wrong?
Yep. I understand. And there comes a place where you have to control your own thoughts, because it's your own thoughts that are going to control your own actions and your own decisions that then create a completely different life for you. Come on, you have to imagine, DeRay, I was homeless. You have to know I was in that toilet bowl, right? I'm homeless. I'm fat. I'm broke. I'm sleeping around. I'm doing drugs. I'm drinking like a fish. I'm worse than what the family was that raised me. I'm completely suicidal. Come on, think about the stirring that was happening right there. My whole life just proved to me that no one could be trusted. My whole life just proved to me that no one loved me and I had no value and I was worthless. I know you have felt that way. But all of a sudden, in a moment, I made a decision. I'm done. I am done. And I started to think about one good thing I had going for me. And I let that one good thing then lead to another. And I began to force myself to take steps to change my life. I forced myself to do things I was afraid to do. And those things changed my life. I actually started thinking about what I was thinking about. And once I started thinking about I'm like, why am I thinking like this? And I started to control what was going into my head. 24/7, I was listening to positive tapes. 24/7, I did not allow myself even to sleep without something talking to me. Because if I let my own mind talk to me, I'd be dead right now. Because my own mind was telling me to end it. My own mind was telling me that I was worthless and useless and reminding me of all my problems and my $35,000 in debt and my health problems and my relationship problems and who abandoned me and who hurt me, who forsook me. That, my being molested from the time I was 3 till I was 16, that nobody ever has loved me. That's what my mind was reminding me of every single day. And it wasn't until the day I went, enough. I'm done. And I started to pour other things inside of me, and I began to reach for hope. I started to step towards hope. I started to push through that disgusting sludge that I was living in that was putrid and smelled so bad. And I just said, enough is enough. And that's what you have to do. So I would imagine, DeRay, that you start to feel better, and then you stop listening to good things. You start to feel better, and then you change your routine. You start to feel better, you think you're doing better, so then you stop doing the thing that was helping you to feel better. Consistency at the end of the day and pushing all the way through at the end of the day is what's going to help you succeed. And it's, guess what? Then it's tomorrow. And you have to push the next day and keep following through until that night. And then the next day, I'm doing this again. I'm doing this again. I'm doing this again. Because you and your daughter, you don't need this life. You don't need a life that's filled with nothing but problems. And you don't need the next 2 years to look like the last 2 years, right?
No, I definitely don't.
You can't. You cannot. So it comes to a place where you refuse. So I want you to go through your bank statement. And I want you to find where every dollar is going, and you make the decision, do I really need to be spending on that? Is that wise, or is this foolish? Is this wise, or is this foolish? Is this wise, or is this foolish? Go through every one of your habits. Look for ways that you can cut back on that electric bill. If it's just a few $100s a month for the supplements are going to help your body get healed, you need to do that. I don't care if that's cleaning somebody's house, once a week. You're cleaning somebody else's house. That pays for the supplements. Find a way to get it done. If your life depended on it, I'm sure you could solve it. Don't wait for someone else to solve it for you. You can do it. There's no question in my mind. Sometimes you got to hit bottom. Sometimes you have to make the choice. Sometimes when we are waiting for someone else to cure us or waiting for somebody else to have the answer or waiting for somebody else to do something for us, we don't find it ourselves. When we finally come to that place of, it's up to me and I have to fix this, it's amazing what kind of solutions that you will find. It truly is. We've got Christy Dana from British Columbia, Canada. Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. What about you?
Hi.
How's debt impacting your life, and what are you going to do to fix it?
Well, I think probably, as every single parent is, you're weighed down with the load of it. But for me, I think probably the biggest thing is it's very isolating.
Mm.
It isolates me. It isolates the kids.
Yep. What do you mean it isolates you and the kids?
Well, all our it's just participating in social activities, right? Like we can't do it.
Wait a second. Hold on a second. Last time I checked, it's free to go to a park.
Yeah, it's free to go to a park.
Oh wait, and last time I checked, are your kids in school or are they being homeschooled?
Oh no, my kids are in school.
Oh my gosh. And so, wow, there's social activities all over the place in school. They're actually in a social environment 8 hours a day.
Like they go to school, but then there's all the extras, right?
Oh, but hold on a second. Whoever said that they should be involved in the extras? Whoever said that the extras are a good idea?
Well, they're school-sponsored extras.
Oh, but hold on a second. Oh, wait a second. So you mean so you don't have to pay for the extras?
Well, it's the field trips. It's all of those things. It's the hot lunches. It's all of those things.
Okay, but hold on, Christy. Who said that they have to participate in any of that?
Well, they don't have to, but that's what makes it isolating. Because...
Oh, but wait a second. Wait, honey. I want you to look at the reality of the picture here. You have been pressured by society that says you're only a good mom if your kids get to do everything their heart desires. You're a good mom only if your kids get to fit in with the rest of the kids. You're only a good mom if you can afford to send them on all of the special extras. You're only a good mom if you can afford violin lessons and them to join the soccer team that isn't a part of the school. Because look at you, you're saying it's isolating? They're around kids 8 hours a day. What's isolating about that? Guess what? My kids were not allowed to participate in most of the things that happen in school. You want to know why? Because I actually valued them being at home with me and their father. Because I actually valued time with them. And when I looked at what society was doing to our kids, I just thought, I don't really like the result. The result of them being involved with every little thing, first of all, means the world is revolving about them. Number two, it's not teaching them wise financial moves. It's teaching them that they get to do whatever the heck they want to do, and that ain't life. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more after this.
Would you like to know what a multimillionaire with 5 companies and 3 best-selling books says is the key to your success? Stay right here, and she'll tell you.
I just heard this amazing story. One of our clients had written us telling us that they had used job domination and unlimited success and has absolutely exploded their career. He said, Dani, I don't know where I'd be today without job domination and unlimited success. Listen, do you want more recognition from your coworkers? Do you want to be recommended to people all over the world? Do you want to be somebody that is highly sought after? Listen, if you're in a dead-end place where this gentleman found himself, but then learned new strategies and changed everything in his work life, and obviously this has resulted in higher bonuses and pay raises, you're next. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of Job Domination right now. 888-757-8880. Again, 888-757-8880. Job domination. That's what you need. It's time for you to dominate the job market and break through the rut that you're in.
Change your habits, change your future. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Debt is isolating. That's exactly what Christy from British Columbia, Canada is saying, where she feels like the debt, and you can hear the quiver in her voice, where she feels like debt is isolating her children because her children cannot participate in all the extras because of the debt. But Krista, again, I'm sorry to bring this up. Is it really isolating them, or is it an opportunity to teach them wise versus foolish spending? It's all in how
I
you
don't
look
know,
at it.
honestly, because it's not that we're a crazy spending family.
How much debt are you carrying?
Probably one credit card. It's at 3, I think, 3,000.
And what's your car debt?
$3,000.
Your car debt?
Oh, my car debt. I don't have a car debt.
Good job. I'm proud of you. What's your mortgage?
The only debt is my credit card. I have rent. I don't own a home.
So you only have $3,000 that you owe on your credit card, and you're worried about that?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
You know, I'm a single mom working 3 jobs to make ends meet.
Right. Okay. So first of all, I'm proud of you that you're working hard to make ends meet. $3,000 is so simple to pay off. So let me ask you this next question. How much money are you making between these 3 jobs?
$800.
$800 a month?
Is what my working income, yeah.
Okay.
8 to 1,000, depending.
800
some
to
of their
1,000.
contract jobs.
Okay. First of all, here's what I'm noticing. When I'm asking you the questions, you don't know the answers right away. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to make one of your jobs that you watch every penny, nickel, and dime that you spend. That you know exactly how much is coming in, and you know exactly where it's going out. I want you to become the accountant of the household, the controller of the finances. Companies have controllers. There's a controller department. There's a controller title that somebody actually carries. And their job is to make the financial decisions for the overall company and to watch over every single dollar that comes in and every dollar that goes out, making sure that there's a purpose that is assigned to every penny that leaves that business. So you're the controller over the finances of the household. It will not take you long, but maybe on a weekly basis, watching exactly where you're sending the money, because money's always looking for a place to go, and you're the one in charge of where it goes. 98% of the population ends up dead or dead broke, largely because they have no idea where their money is going. So how to step out of that 98% who ends up dead or dead broke is simply to go, where specifically is every penny going? So if it's $800 a month, now that's all of the total income that's coming in for your household?
No, that's just my working income.
What does that mean? That's just
coming in. I've got some subsidies coming in.
So can you tell me what the total income is of the household?
Not really.
You don't know?
Because I'm waiting on, the total income right now is probably about $2,500.
Wow. So $2,500 in a month. Okay, so now what we're going to, first of all, the first thing you're going to do when you and I get off the phone together is that you're going to print out your bank statement, okay? You're going to take a few different highlighters. One, you can use green for food, how much you're spending on food. That includes eating out, that includes snacks, that includes the gas station runs, that includes junk food, that includes all of it, okay? So all the food in which you are buying, the grocery store, all that food, all right? You could use a different color for eating out, if you guys even do such a thing, right?
Yeah, no, we don't.
Which I'm proud of you.
No money to, so we don't.
No, it's not that there's no money to, it's just not wise. Why is it wise to go out to dinner? First of all, when you have debt. Second of all, is it wise for the physical body to eat out?
No, not really.
Is it wise for the finances to eat out?
No, definitely not.
Why is it not wise for the finances to eat out?
Oh, it's so much more cost effective to just purchase and prepare in home.
Yeah, not only that, it's better for the family. It's healthier for the family. It's better family time for the family. It's a good teaching opportunity for the kids to learn how to cook, to be involved with the process of cooking. Lots of great memories happen in the kitchen and around the kitchen table. Lots of great memories happen there. Those are very important things for a family to do, is to cook together and eat together. Okay, but eating out kind of robs you of all of that stuff, doesn't it? First of all, you're paying for lesser quality food. You're paying for less healthier food. You're paying much more money, a higher premium for the food that has lesser quality. So multiplied times more money is what you're paying for that food. So it's just not wise, especially when you're carrying a debt, especially when you're trying to get ahead financially. But if you're making $2,500 a month, can you tell me what your rent is?
Rent with my gas and electricity included is $1,600.
Okay, well, hold on. I just want to know meaning that's how the rent is paid, is with gas and electricity?
Yeah.
Okay, meaning it's all one lump sum. You write a check for $1,600, and then whoever you're writing the check to pays for gas and electric.
Yeah.
So you cannot affect your gas and electric bill yourself.
No.
Okay, so $1,600, which leaves you with $900 left a month. How many mouths are you feeding in the household, and are these just your children and yourself? No boyfriend, right?
Yeah, no boyfriend, just 5 mouths. 4
Good
kids
job.
and myself.
Okay, so 5 mouths.
Are you kidding? If a boyfriend came into the picture, he can step up and feed himself.
There better not be a boyfriend in the picture. You got 4 kids, and they need all of you. They need all of you. You don't need a distraction right now. Okay.
Yeah, no.
So with 5 mouths in the house, this is what I've done for my family. Okay. It's $20 per week per person for food. That's what I've done for a decade and a half, more than a decade and a half. Okay. So $20 per person for food, for toilet paper. I don't use paper towels. I use the cheapest napkins. I don't use a whole bunch of cleaning products. I use old towels. I don't buy the butt wipes to clean my tables of wood. I don't have the butt wipes to clean the glass. I don't use the butt wipes to clean the toilets.
No, I use newspaper to clean the glass.
Good job. So it's just rags that I have.
Newspaper.
Yeah, exactly. So I have, and some vinegar, right, to clean the glass.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
cheap stuff. 99 cents, big old gallon, lasts you forever. Put some water in it, done. Okay, so, but just hear me. If it's $20 per person per week for food, now where are we?
It's $100.
$100 a week. $100 a week. That's $400. So that leaves us with $500. You already paid for your living, right? So that was house, gas, and electric, plus the food, leaves us with $400 left every single month. Where is that $400 going?
Car insurance is $150 a month.
So now we're down to what? And why is your car insurance $150 a month? You have a new car?
$120 a month.
Say again?
It's $120 a month. Sorry.
Okay. So what I want you to do is print out your statement and find out where all the money is going. And then that's where you will discover to make decisions. Is this wise? Is this foolish? Do I really need that? And $1,600 for your rent and for your gas and for your electric. Really be looking at that too. You know, like, hey, can you negotiate to affect your gas and electric? Because maybe if you can lower those 2 other parts of the bills, you can make a difference there too. There could be an extra $50 or $70 a month in that bill as well, which I largely find. People leave their electricity on. I've seen a single mom save $100 a month on electricity just by changing a few things in her house. One of which was unplugging, all the computers that were in the house, which was crazy, costing her an extra $100 a month just by them being left on through the night. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
Be sure to tell a friend about the Dani Johnson Show. It just might be the key to the breakthrough they need.
For families in Santa Pancha, Nicaragua, life is filled with fear and struggle. They don't have enough food for their kids, clean water is hard to find, and they're living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel on top of mining tunnels that could explode and sink at any moment. But a miracle is in the making, and you can be a part of transforming this village. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Santa Pancha to see how you can help. That's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org, and click on Santa Pancha. This is your chance. This is your shot. Get your copy of War on Debt right now. There's one waiting for you that has your family's name on it. And inside that package is freedom. Your freedom, your family's freedom is on the inside of that package. All you have to do is open it up, press play, and start applying what I teach you in this program. 888-757-8880. You and I are going to help your family become completely debt-free in the next 5 to 7 years. Just imagine how that's going to feel.
What multimillionaire do you know that volunteers their time to help ordinary people like you and me? There's only one. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Debt can be so crippling. It really can. That's exactly where Jeanette finds herself. She's calling in from Fresno, California. Jeanette, share with me how crippling debt is for you.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay. Hold on one second. Let me get you off my speakerphone. Okay. You there?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
it's just been so helpful, actually, just listening in. But it's my husband and I, he's a real estate agent and he's a farmer. And so it's feast or famine in our house. I hold a job that kind of just pays the bare minimum. And it's one of those just I'll work for benefits jobs.
Yeah.
That really helps, because we have 6 kids between the 2 of us.
Nice.
And we're a blended family, so
Right.
there's a lot of,
I want to stop you right here. You said it's feast or famine, right? Feast or famine. The key is that you, when the feast comes, like he sells a house or it's harvest time, the key is that when you're during the feasting time is not to spend all that is being made in that time. The time for feasting, right, is to plan for the famine that is coming. Most people miss that. The Bible shows us that there's 7 years of feasting for preparation of 7 years of famine. The point is that Joseph took 20% of every single piece of grain that came into the country and he put it in a storehouse. And that's what has to happen when you live in that kind of a business, right? Farming, construction, or real estate, where it's like, things are really, really good certain times of the year and then other times it's like really, really bad. That times where there's a lot, that's supposed to be filling in for the times where there's not a lot, so that the family isn't feeling the feasting or the famine, but that we're living according to a budget. And again, being the controller of the household, being the one who is deciding where every single dollar is going, and that every dollar actually has great value to it. And you have to make a decision. Is this really worth it? Is this the time to be purchasing that? Or is it wise to think ahead and to think of the future? Now, I know that there's all kinds of people that, we've made some bad choices in the past, therefore we got a lot of bills today. But that just simply means that there's going to be a season where things are really super lean. And there's going to be a season and a time where we have to push through the hard stuff, the consequences in which we're suffering because of our own choices of not being wise during the famine time. If we haven't been wise there, that means we went into all kinds of debt. If we haven't been wise during the feasting time, then that means that we spent foolishly and have nothing left for the time that's coming that's going to be lean. And so we have to go through our consequences. And the important thing is we're walking through our financial consequences to have the right mindset. Having the right mindset through those consequences is saying this isn't going to last forever. I'm learning something here, and I'm going to make sure that this doesn't happen again. We're going to have some new protocols in place to make sure that we're not going to be in this spot again. And I promise you those things are going to help. Listen, I hope that you enjoyed today's program. Please share it with others. Freely you've received today's program. Get on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or whatever and share today's program. Just share the link so others can be helped. And let us know how you enjoyed today's program. Can't wait to talk to you tomorrow for another challenging topic to help you succeed in life.
Did you hear that last segment? Do you know someone else who needs to hear it? Go to DaniJohnson.com, find today's show, and share it online.
The whole story of how I went from homeless to millions is right here in this book, First Steps to Wealth. I'd love to give you a free copy of this book. Just dial 888-757-8880. You can get your free copy of this book. It's like a real book, my friend. You can get an ebook copy for free right now, or if you'd like to pay the shipping to get this $15 book to your house, I'd be happy to send it to you. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of First Steps to Wealth today and begin on a brand new path of some great success.